2023 has been a year of extremes when it comes to climate change. Catastrophic floods hit several countries across Africa in 2023, Ethiopia, Nigeria, and South Africa, among others. In addition to the floods, East Africa also faced its worst drought in decades. According to the most recent Carbon Brief report, at least 15,700 Africans died as a result of extreme weather events, with another 34 million affected. The inaugural Africa Climate Summit aimed to unify Africa's voice on climate change and secure increased international support. Proposals emerged to swap Africa's nation's debt for climate action investments, unlocking resources for adaptation and mitigation. Around the world, Europe suffered the Cerebus heat wave, with temperatures rising near record levels. Deadly floods brought death and destruction to several countries in Asia, with India being particularly the heat hardest. The Center for Science and Environment reported that more than 2,900 people died, almost 2 million hectares of crops were ruined, 80,000 homes were destroyed, and more than 92,000 animals were killed. Canada witnessed its worst wildfire season on record. Millions of hectares were burned. The Antarctic sea ice reached record levels, with unusual winter warmth observed. On the brighter side, more countries pledged to reach net zero emissions by 2050, demonstrating growing international consensus on tackling climate change. The European Union proposed a carbon border adjustment mechanism to prevent carbon leakage and incentivize global climate action. There is a growing youth climate movement around the world, leading powerful protests and initiatives demanding action on climate change. Attendees to the 8th Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, that is COP28, agreed to create a loss and damage fund to compensate developing nations for climate change-related losses and damages. And wealthy nations pledged over $700 million, which aims to advance global efforts to combat climate change and promote justice despite challenges in eligibility and long-term funding. African leaders also called for urgent action on reducing carbon emissions and established a common position for COP28. Despite the world's vulnerability to climate change and resilience and innovative solutions, it is crucial to remember that much work remains. Continued international cooperation, innovative solutions, and sustained public engagement are essential to build a more resilient and sustainable future.